Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to your weekly collective reading. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. A little happy puppy in the background is Apollo, and I'm really happy to be spending some time with you today. If it's your first time here, you picked a great time to come through because we have a lot of cosmic events happening this week. We have an eclipse, we have a new moon, and we also have the Mercury retrograde. So this is an important week for all of us to get together. Welcome to the Weekly Collective. This is an opportunity for all of us to basically take a look at the energy that's affecting everybody. We have one section which is going to break it down by signs, but everything else today is for the collective that shows up or watches later. It's good to see all of you. Welcome. So we're going to begin with channeled messages first. Channeled messages come through primarily through dreams, also through what I see and meet in life. One of them is actually something that kind of I saw outside my window, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Then we'll get into a 7-day forecast, and then the special topic after the elemental forecast today, which is what are the hidden opportunities, a hidden ace. And because it's so cool that there is an eclipse, a new moon, and retrograde, because that really is about finding opportunities, releasing blocks, and seeing things that you normally wouldn't see. So it was perfectly timed and perfectly chosen by all of you. Thanks guys for always being right on track when it comes to that kind of stuff. All right, let's get into your messages today. So I had a ton of dreams last night. Again, no doubt fueled by all of these sort of cosmic things that want to come through. A mirror played a really large portion in this, and we'll talk about that right now. All right, so let me just mute this volume so I'm not distracted. Okay, so again, mirror was a big piece of it, which is about self-love, self-acceptance, and also really being able to see what's in front of you. We'll also be talking about any sort of energy of people that might be self-serving around us. There's a chance to rewrite things to actually have a rebound. And then we'll look at the dove a little bit here. So let's begin with the first piece. And this, again, played a pretty prominent role. I kept looking at a mirror, and I watched as someone held the mirror close to their heart. And it was a two-sided mirror with two magnifications, one that was kind of normal and then one that was close up. And the two sides of the mirror remind us on a sort of high level that there's always two sides to every story. A lot of times we get angry because we feel perhaps like you don't understand my perspective, and this is a reminder to tune in and to listen as much as possible. Again, there's always two sides, and both sides really need to have that open heart and open mind and basically hold space for the other. There was a cool album by George Michael, which was Listen Without Prejudice. That's a great title, and it's hard to do that because typically when we listen, we have preconceived notions, expectations, and filters that take the words, and you kind of assign your own meanings and your own you may even jump to a conclusion based on the tone without clarifying. So this is definitely a time you want to clarify, if at all possible, when at all possible. All right, and again, communicate with the heart, listen to your heart, look at your heart and see what is this telling me? How do I feel about this? I chose the Two of Pentacles here because you may be asked to choose a side. It's really hard with the Two of Pentacles too because you can often feel this connection to both opportunities in front of you. But try to listen, try to be as, I would say, as kind and as open as you can, and that's going to save you a lot of time. All right, let's move on to the next message here. So this has to do with the trickier side of things. So when someone's that focused on the mirror, it can also, I was thinking of Narcissus in mythology, and I didn't even go into it that much. Suffice it to say, this was someone who fell in love with their reflection. And I was thinking of two potential cards here that could connect with it. It could either be the Devil, because the Devil really focuses on self-serving motives, or it could be the Seven of Swords, where someone's trying to take a little bit more, get away with a little bit. And what you really want to be thoughtful about right now is, if you are presented with something that is less than fair, you simply push back and you say, this does not work for me. And no, you can ask questions. Why are we doing this and not this? You can always stand your ground, and you can always move in a different direction. So as retrograde comes through this week, again, we have cosmic events. They're all within hours of each other. I think they all happen on Thursday and Friday, the 20th and 21st. So especially on those 2 days, we want to make sure that you're very, very clear on things. But even in advance of that, this week we're in the retrograde, shadow Mercury retrograde. So we want to just be sure that we're hearing and seeing things for what they truly are. Self-acceptance is where it all begins, folks. So the mirror held to the heart is also saying, see yourself. Sometimes when other people present a compliment to you, if they can see the value and you're having sort of this self-effacing, self-deprecating energy where you don't want to accept it, sometimes the external is valid, especially when it's a positive and when it's potential. So you can take that lens or that mirror and say, thank you for that lens. I didn't have that. I appreciate that. I didn't see it, but so many other people are seeing it. It must be true, especially when it's positive. And, you know, the other thing here is to just love and accept yourself so that you don't need to have sort of public acclaim or support. Like today's card was a Six of Wands, which is all about success and external lenses. But truly, if you love and accept and celebrate who you are, you don't need it. It's nice to have, but it's more like a cherry on top. So once this happens, you're not going to really face this that much. And it's not going to be hard to choose what you need to because you've got your heart space exactly where it needs to be. And it's going to be the GPS to lead you in the right direction. Next thing that I saw in dreams was it felt like it was a script rewrite, like an adaptation from either a book to a movie or a play to a movie. But it was definitely happening in this sort of more concise form. And I saw people that used to be one thing showing up differently. So sometimes when there's a movie adaptation, they change it up left and right, right? This could actually represent something cool for you. It's a rewrite. And especially because we're going into a retrograde, Mercury retrograde this week, you get to recast things. You don't like how you're showing up here? Change it. You tired of someone else coming in as the protagonist? Change that. You can recast people and say, thank you for your lessons, your lenses, your teachings. I'm now ready to graduate and release this and move on to something else. Create that happy ending that you've always needed and wanted. This is the time to co-create, to rewrite, to reimagine something. You don't have to be stuck unless you want to be stuck. Writing is also a really essential way to do it. You can put it in a book, you can put it up on a vision board, you can just talk it out, but the communication process helps to manifest it. Speaking of manifestation, I have this cool little dove that's decided to nest or kind of hang out in a tree near me. And here's a picture of the dove. Kind of hidden. It was hard for me to see him. It's not a great picture, but he was just sort of hanging out and giving me a side eye as I was taking a picture, like, leave me alone. I'm hanging out here. But the dove, first of all, shows me, it was nicely connected to today's message as well. It's a hidden ace. I was just going about my business in the kitchen and I'm like, that's a dove, isn't it? Or a pigeon. So they represent messages from source, also the connection that you have to source. So this week in particular, tune into those things. He was camouflaged or she was camouflaged in that tree. And it took me a moment. I'm like, look at that. Look at that. You don't need an interpreter. You don't need a reader to tell you how to feel. You know how to feel. And this is really just about honoring the messages as they come through. And they can come through in multiple facets. So that's why whenever someone will put like reading starts here. No, reading starts now. We just started it. I use different divination methods, whether it's dreams or research or cards or clairaudience. You can pick it up on different ways. You could be listening to music and something pops up on your playlist that you didn't expect and it reminds you of something. You could see a license plate with a message on it that reminds you of someone or something. You could be walking outside. It can be a billboard. It doesn't have to just be cards. It doesn't have to just be, a psychic vision. It can be environmental like that. And that's why I use totems in real life and also in dreams, because I use dream interpretation. So messages are everywhere, folks. They're not just in a deck of 78 cards, okay? So look all around you. Life is happening in real time, and the dove is reminding us to tune into the real-time stuff. All right, out with the old, in with the new. I was researching the diet. I always like to look at something different that we don't know about the totem. Doves, especially morning doves, tend to eat mostly grains and seeds, and they take in a lot of these seeds to get the nourishment. And I was thinking about Ace of Pentacles. Aces in general, they kind of remind me of the seeds because they're opportunities. So this is saying take in as many opportunities or chances to explore these opportunities as possible. Again, High Priestess here about tuning in. It's all about tuning in and being aware. Shed the things that don't serve you. Another interesting fact with the dove is that it has the ability to lose a feather here and there. That's why you see pigeon and dove feathers all over the place, because they can get out of trouble. So if you recognize danger or an issue, just let that go and then welcome in something else. Again, with that recasting energy, you're not trapped unless you're afraid to kind of say no or admit that it might be time for a change. So some really beautiful messages overall about self-acceptance and self-love, seeing things through a different lens, writing a new chapter, and then again, looking for signs all around. They're not just, like I said, in a deck of cards. They're not just in the horoscope. You're living them, you're breathing them, you're seeing them around you. Okay, we're going to begin with a 7-day forecast here at the beginning. This is really allowing us to navigate this important week ahead. And let's see what the messages are. I think I got the camera ready, so let's do this, folks. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you, as always, for deciding to spend some time with me. I know you have a lot of choices, and it's my honor to have you here today. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right, let's get started, folks. We're going to begin. Actually, we'll take a quick glance at this week here. So today is really about getting things moving. We have a Knight of Pentacles here, so I love that. What I am appreciating here is there's no catastrophic cards here. There's nothing to really focus on as an uh-oh moment. Some regaining of balance at a couple of places and vision, but actually right around all the cosmic events, it's going to be good, folks. So let's just take it a card at a time, starting with today. So we have the Knight of Pentacles coming through, all about opportunities. And it's basically saying, today is a great day for planning. And I've been saying this the past few Sundays. We don't have to wait until Monday to try to catch up. It doesn't mean you have to work today. It just means collect your thoughts and figure out, what do I want to accomplish this week? Is there anything I should do to prepare? So before I show up, I have to get the slides ready. I have to figure out what part of the dreams that I want to do. I got to take Apollo for a walk. I have to do a bunch of things to kind of prepare to make sure that we can hold this space. That's important so that he can be quiet and relaxed. Anybody that has dogs or kids knows what I'm talking about. You have to make sure that they're good before you can do your thing. So set the stage. It can be as simple as that. It might be about getting daycare or making sure that all of your sort of family's needs are taken care of. So today is a good day for planning. And if you want to do work, some people like me work on the weekends. I work all week. I work every day, actually. But I get to control my schedule, but I don't really get a day off. I work every day. So choose what you can to make the most of it, because you can actually get a lot done. Look at all of the green energy in this card. And again, with Knights, we can see movement, even if it's in the cognitive or soul searching sort of area. That the fact that you've planted the seed, you're going to start to see momentum pick up this week, which is exciting. Okay, let's go to the energy of Monday, which is the Page of Cups. Page of Cups in reverse. It's a self-care day, folks. So this is really when I want you to tune into anything that might be going on with mind, body, or spirit. If you're feeling a little bit exhausted, if you're feeling a little bit moody or emotional or depressed, it's okay. And it's important for you to figure out, what's the source of this? What can I do to find better balance in my life? And why do I feel this way? I think a lot of times we've been taught, not so much in this generation, but my generation and the generation before that, I would say there was a lot of just like, it's not okay to be not okay. So if you aren't okay, then just celebrate that for a moment and figure out what you're going to do about it. it's okay as long as you sort of like embrace it and understand it. So speak up, find an outlet. If you need to talk to someone, talk to someone. Now, you can't feel something that you don't. That's another thing with the Page of Cups. If the cup is empty and you're trying to, let's say it's a first date, let's say it's a job, let's say it's anything where you need to be engaged. If you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. It would be so much better to simply say, I can't, like, today's not the day to meet up. Now, when there's a deadline or when there's something at work, we can't always control those deadlines, but you could say, I really need some assistance today, or it would be great if I could just sort of have some time on my own to sort this out, and then I'll get back to you later. If you can't do that, then what you want to do is find anything that you can to ground yourself and try to just honor again the fact that it's a lot. So heavy energy, but for many of you that are creative, this could be a very productive day because lots of downloads coming. So advice from me, a fellow creative, what I do is I record my thoughts. So when it's a dream, for instance, I have to capture them in enough words. I need at least 3 to 5 words so I can retrace my dreams. I'm like, oh yeah, it was that. Oh, it was that. And then I saw that. Okay. Get your thoughts on paper. Don't get overwhelmed by your thoughts just yet. Take one of them at a time or look at the whole scattering of them. And that's how I figure out what I'm going to talk about. I'm like, the mirror was the main thing. I thought yesterday it would be the dove, but there was so much with the mirror that came through. I'm like, we really need to look at perspectives and reflections and inner work and all of that. So write it down. And a lot of times the natural order or organization will reveal itself. Okay. There could be unexpected love, friendship, or gatherings this day as well. I think your timing is important. You don't have to spend the whole time there, just a little bit. Make an appearance, but you don't have to overdo it. Let's move on to Tuesday. On Tuesday, we have an ace. And so the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Some of you might feel like you need to dig something up from the past that you're like, wait, what did I say? What went on here? So the Ace in reverse is pulling it out of the ground, maybe even feeling like you need to move on, transport, get a bigger sort of, like if we're looking at the metaphor of a plant, sometimes you need a bigger pot. So there might be a need to find a place where you can grow or expand or try something new. So this Ace in reverse to me is something that possibly already exists but isn't thriving, or maybe that you had discounted, but now you're thinking, oh, now I know why I was interested in that. Let's try it again. So second chances, digging something up, looking at research, or finding that you're no longer happy where you're at. And to grow, just like my Easter lily out there, which hopefully will come back next year, you have to put it in a bigger pot and then just let it do its thing. So that's what I'm seeing here. This is a great day to plant a seed or an idea. You may not get an immediate return on it. Like anything in life, it takes time to get that sort of growth and progress. It's not Jack and the Beanstalk. Success and growth and development. You don't put a few beans out and then overnight something grows. Very rarely. There can be viral successes, but sustainable, predictable, and I would say even like the happiest success usually happens because you're investing time and energy. And when it happens, you really appreciate it because you're like, yeah, I worked hard for that. So if you're not seeing it right now, continue, just like a bulb or a seed, continue to put energy and nurture it, and eventually it's going to sprout and you'll be happy that you didn't give up. Okay? Also a good day for planning, back into that sort of productive mode. You may also decide to invest in yourself. So an Ace of Pentacles reverse can say, I need to do this for me. I'm not feeling growth, so I need to do this for me. Okay. Let's go away. Let's now go to, that's a Freudian sleep. Some of you may need to actually go away and spend some time on your own. One thing that I found sometimes is, especially when I'm doing these readings, there was a couple of times where I've caught EVPs. So when I say something weird, it's sometimes my guides just using my mouth to kind of get it out. So you may need to go away to be productive or to get something completed. All right, so Monday, Tuesday, let's now move on to Wednesday. We have the Four of Pentacles. This is the first card that constitutes a limit this week. The Four of Pentacles is usually a limit that we put on ourselves. And sometimes it's us holding on to something longer than we need to. So I love that we see the fruitful, like all these trees and this beautiful building kind of like behind her. She's almost transparent. But in front of that are all these padlocks. And the traditional Four of Pentacles, it's kind of like the mirror, folks. I'm going to find the original card as we talk. It's right here. Because I think I was talking to another sign about it this week. So here's your Four of Pentacles. Like the mirror, the pentacle is held right in front of the heart space. And it's basically saying, if I can see it, at least I know it's there. And sometimes less is better because, you know, what if I let it go? And this is basically, again, back to the devil, you know. So you know it's limiting, you know it's not enough, but you're holding on anyway for fear that there may not be something else. The fear is going to be self-perpetuating and it's basically you're creating this. So don't do that. Self-manifesting is what I was going to say. So this is a time where you really want to open yourself up and say, I need more, or this isn't enough, or I want to explore other options. There's a lot of ways to say this isn't working. And that's basically what this card is saying. This can be a foundational card. If we look at like some of the Thoth influence decks, sometimes you can see it as foundations. Even with foundations, it's not finished though. That means that this is the beginning. There needs to be a lot more to create structure. So get a firm foundation, but don't expect this to be it. And open yourself up to receive more, ask for more. If you're giving to others, whether it's praise or resources or support, don't be stingy there. So be generous and expect generosity back as well. And that's going to be the main message there. Opening up your heart, anything creative, anything where you can open your energy up, your mind, it's going to be great as well. Moving on to the energy of Thursday, it's one of the best cards so far. 3 of Pentacles. This is when the building blocks actually start to come into play. We also see this wonderful communal energy, which isn't always illustrated, but it is in this deck. So 3 of Pentacles can be teamwork. It can be recognition. It can also represent finishing something with mastery. 8 of Pentacles, apprenticeship. 3 of Pentacles, mastery and recognition. So what is Thursday good for? It's a great day to send something off. Get it off the printer and deliver it to whoever it needs to be delivered to. It's a great day to, if you're going to sign up for like a long-term sort of certification or college or whatever, this is a good day to put in that application. Even though we're going through some interesting energies, including the eclipse and the new moon and all of that stuff, it's still a good day to get work done. And I like to remind folks that life doesn't stop for the planets. That's going to have to be one of my, whenever I do March, you know, rejection is protection and life doesn't stop for the planets. We look at the cards and we look at the planets to inform our activities, but we control our destiny. And it looks like you can get a lot of work done. And retrograde can be productive, folks. And this is right on the heels of it. So it looks like you're going to have a really stellar Thursday. So embrace it. It's going to come through the teamwork though. Don't be afraid to get an extra set of eyes, ears, or another head looking at this because that teamwork is going to make things happen. Great day to write things down too, intentions and hopes and things for this new moon, okay? So I'm liking what I see, great day, possibly one of the highlights. I mean, I think today's a highlight, looks like Thursday is. All right, now we just had this week as one of my daily card pulls. So it's interesting that we see right on the heels of the moon, the eclipse, and we're seeing it in this card here, just the nice full sun or the full moon. All right, let's look at this here. If this is representing a moon, it's going to be 1 month from now since we have a new moon coming through. But the 2 of Wands in reverse, we want to think of as this is the unexpected. This is what the whole reading is about today. This is where something might come through and you didn't expect it, but you see it and now you're going to embrace it. So Friday is the day. Sorry, let me put up the day so you know where we're at. Friday is the day where things start to get exciting. 2 of Wands in reverse can be sometimes an inconvenient but nonetheless fabulous opportunity. It can be a need to look at something from another point of view. Even if that's not what is in your comfort zone, it's still going to be perfect for you and for what's around you right now. It could also be a slight delay, but nonetheless, the delay is setting you up for a better synchronicity or a better sort of connection. So it's a good day, but it doesn't start off the way you expected or end the way you expected, but you may be happily surprised. I always like to look at this as a happy surprise, as a necessary shift or movement. You still have a chance to spin that globe in the right direction. So just keep moving with the energy of change, okay? The other thing is maybe you are being asked to give your perspective. There could be someone in leadership that doesn't know what to do. 2 of Wands is having a clear vision. So if it's reversed, you may be in a place where people don't know what to do. And they're just spinning the globe and putting their finger on it and saying, how about this? So even if you feel like you're not ready, I feel like you have just as much a say as anyone else. So this is a great chance to speak up because people need direction. And it looks like you're tuned in. This is usually connected to High Priestess energy. Okay, taking a look now at the weekend here. We have a beautiful card here for Saturday. For Saturday, we have the Sun card. So the Sun card is coming through to say, this is a great day to release, to birth, and to basically celebrate all the hard work that you've done. This is the inner child wanting to come out to play. And look at how this deck has a few cards where we see the birds in front of the eye. So it's saying, get a bird's eye perspective. Allow yourself to go, excuse me, just a little bit higher up and see things from other people's points of view. So the two sides of the mirror. That also represents close up and sort of like macro micro energy. So making sure that you're looking at the details. Now that this will be in the throes of retrograde, Mercury retrograde during this period. So you definitely want to be more discerning. Everything should be fine though on a sun day, even though this is a Saturday, but a sun related day here with this card into play. So great day to spend time with family, great time to have a date or an engagement or some sort of a party because your energy is shining really brightly. And so again, for the energy of Saturday, you're really sort of exactly where you need to be, okay? Loving what I see. I know it's confusing because we're looking at the sun for Saturday, but again, it's a great energy for you to be out there, to be bold, to be seen. One last thing with this is an organizational card because I always like to think of the sun and its role in our solar system or a star and any sort of star system. And that's basically, it creates all of it doesn't create, but it maintains the orbits of all of the sort of planets and satellites around it. So you may again be that sort of central figure. Take some time for yourself. Make sure that you're getting the love, the support, and the care that you need as well. Okay? By the way, there's a lot of chatter about cards, and let's hold that for later. On my website, if you need to get it, there's only the tarot decks. I don't go to every oracle deck. Please hold that for later so we can focus. All right, next Sunday, let's take a look at that. All right, we have the Two of Cups. This is going to be a great energy to allow you to basically have fun. This is the first day where we're seeing people enter in and partnerships enter in. And I think this is going to be a perfect day for friends, for family, and also for any of you that are looking for love or looking to sort of expand your horizons. This is a good day to meet up. Two of Cups is also, like the Lovers card, a magnetic one, just like the Sun card. So by the way, if you're trying to pull things into your trajectory, both Saturday and Sunday are ideal. So this is saying I am magnetic, I am clear, and this is saying I love myself enough to pull, like attracts like. This card also came in the past couple of weeks. So really work on yourself, on the energy that you're looking for around you. You want to make sure that you're doing that for yourself. So if you're looking for someone who's healthy, who's self-sufficient, who is capable of giving love and receiving love, all of that. That's why the mirror is also being held up. It's like the Moon card, saying just take a look at yourself and make sure that all of those things are happening in your own life. And then that like energy attracts like energy. Overall, it's a pretty good week, folks. If we just take a glance at all of the energy, like I said, we're going to look at highlights and lowlights, and then we'll move on to the elemental forecast. So the highlights and lowlights. Today is a highlight for sure. You can get a lot of planning done. You can get a lot of work done as well. As we look at other highlights, I would say Tuesday, you might be able to find something that you forgot about, and it's like, oh yeah, this is a gem. This is a diamond in the rough. Thursday, it's almost like every other day is fantastic. Thursday, also a fantastic day to focus on partnering up with others, getting something finished, and then you might even be able to see something from a new perspective. And basically, I would say from Thursday on, it's all good. It's all aces, even though they're not all aces. It's all great energy. So this is going to be a great week ahead, perhaps because of all the cosmic shifts moving around us. You know, like I said before, life continues to happen, whether or not things are going direct or retrograde, or whether or not it's an eclipse or not. We just have to keep living, and that's what we're going to do this week, and we're going to do our best to be aware of all of the opportunities that are present. All right, so let's go ahead now, and we're going to take a look at the elements, which are fire, earth, air, and water. And let me see here which deck I want to use for this. Okay, since we had a little bit of sort of nature-based energy, I'm going to use the Wildwood Tarot on this. Okay, I'll observe it because we got 2 for that. So fire, earth, air, and water. All right, let's take it one by one, folks. So for my fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, you got a bonus card, and I always allow that to happen if they want to come through. So we're going to look at the presenting card first. We have a beautiful 9 of Pentacles here, and let's just zoom in for a second on this one as that motorcycle is zooming past. So the 9 of Pentacles, the caption reads tradition. You may be breaking with tradition, believe it or not, because as we look really closely at this card, we see an Ouroboros and we also see a snake. So it might be a matter of deciding to go against what higher ups or tradition or the hierarchy is kind of expecting. It's a very independent card. In the traditional card, you would see a woman in a garden with a garden snail. You know, I love the garden snail in the 9 of Pentacles. And it's basically saying slow and steady wins the race. And look at all the work you've done to get here. So in this, we can kind of see almost a Stonehenge sort of arrangement. But it's saying in this moment, the stars have aligned to really help you get to that next point. It's not quite completion. 10 of Pentacles would be completion. So it's saying, don't lose track of why you've done what you've done and how you've gotten to this point in time. Continue to work hard. Even if you're feeling a little isolated right now, you're okay. If you need help, ask for it. Just because this card sort of is, suffused with independence doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. Ultimately, it's a really powerful and really abundant card. So I see a lot of resources, a lot of opportunity, and that you're very close, maybe 1 or 2 steps away from completion. Let's see what's modifying this. Oh, wow. We have my favorite card in this particular deck, and one of my favorites anyway, which is Judgment. And it's let's just turn it up right. It's the Great Bear in this particular deck. So the bear is a guardian. It's also there. It's there to kind of like say, are you sure? Are you ready? It's a signal of coming out of hibernation. And for some of you, it can be the fear of the unknown. So I love the boldness of the bear, though. Very few things will hold the bear back. So I would say in this moment, don't be afraid to move through to the next side. If we look on the other side of the bear, we see the Aurora Borealis, we see the Big Dipper, we see this portal. But there is this general sort of sense of, can I do it? Is this okay? It's judgment, but like misjudging or doubting yourself or not accepting the obvious. Something's like there's a path laid out in front of you and you know what to do, but you haven't accepted what to do. And that's really what Judgment Reversed is about. This card is showing you that you've already achieved most of what you think what you've set out to do. So this is really just about taking that final step. I think you're going to have a great week ahead, Fire. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's going to be a great week for you. So those energies are good. The only thing that's getting in the way is either self-doubt or not taking action on something that you know you need to take action on. Let's move on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You have the 10 of Pentacles. You're already in that next step. A little bit of self-doubt here as well for Earth. So in this one, we're basically on the other side of the cave. So here was the cave, here's the other side of the cave, and then we see all of that abundance there. And I love what it says. You're feeling at home, or you're looking maybe for that place where you can feel like you're at home. So the 10 of Pentacles is one of the best cards that I could pull with respect to money, support, resources, and completion. So it feels like you're there, but maybe you don't realize it either. You're even closer than the fire signs. And so the 10 of Pentacles is just the follow through. Finish it up, and then it could also be what's next. So you may know that you're in the throes of completion, like it's happening, graduation, recognition, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And now you're thinking, so now what? What's next? What's coming up next? I think we should always be thinking of the so now what? 1 or 2 steps beyond the present. I'm currently working on a project that won't come out until the fall, probably end of summer or the fall. And then I'm already thinking, well, what's after that? I like to think, is it a second season of that? Is it another book? What am I going to do next? I'm always thinking of another phase or another thing to explore because it's fun. It's fun to have plans. It's fun to get up and think, I've got stuff to do today. right? So think of the next thing. Many of you have already, you can give yourself a pat on the back for finishing something. Think of the next thing and then think of the thing but beyond that, so you don't have to go into that sort of panic mode. It's always good. Innovators, leaders, and people that have it together, they typically have long-term plans. So I'm more curious about your 5, 10, 15-year plans right now than I am about, did you finish this? Okay? And that's where your power goes. All of you are fantastic at this, by the way. This is a very earth message to come through. Capricorn especially, but the same with Taurus and Virgo. When you set your mind to something, you'll do it. That's especially Taurus. And Virgo, you're going to do it really, really well. So all of you can do this. It's just about setting those markers. You can always adjust the markers a bit, but at least have them out there on the horizon, okay? A good week to ask for money or support if you need it. People are going to rally around you. There's typically people in this card, but they're missing. So you're not alone. All you have to do is sort of activate the network. Let's move to Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. All right. For you, you're actually going to be able to navigate a tricky conversation. You have to bite your tongue and use your words wisely. So this is one of my other favorite cards, especially like for the Five of Swords. Who likes the Five of Swords? I usually don't like the card that much, but I love this one. Is it a goat? I think, yeah. So we have like this goat flying through the air. I can almost hear it making its own sound effects, whatever that noise is that it makes. It's basically saying, you can't catch me. And you're not going to get me caught up in this. It's circumnavigating and navigating around all of these tricky conversation points. So someone might be trying to say, here's a Five of Swords technique. They'll say something that's false, and then they'll say, isn't that right? And you think, no, that's not right. So you don't agree to things that aren't right, or say, I think we can all agree on this, right? No, I don't agree with that. But you don't have to get into an exchange. But don't agree through silence or through being complicit to something, because then you could be in a contract that you don't want to be in. So you can speak up and say, I'm out on that one. You all can be in, but I'm out on that. Or I have concerns, can I voice them? So that's one technique, a very tricky technique of the Five of Swords. They try to get you to agree to something that isn't right. The other thing that they do is simply, they're just contrary. So you can use all the data in all the energy of all the universe. You could go to the Akashic records and pull down all the volumes, and they would still argue against fact. They're going to be very opinion-based and very belief-based, but not very fact-based. So this is a time where if you're working with somebody that only works on opinion, it might be better to just cut your losses and go in another direction. And it's definitely not the right time to have a conversation with that person. So you're going to you'll decide when to fight and when to move on. And you're also not going to take the bait. You can even say that. Just say, this isn't really working for me. I know you're I'm not upset about this. I'm just stating a fact. This is a fact. And if we have issues with that, then we're not going to be able to cooperate, So just lay it out there and avoid getting in the crossbows there. So I think that's going to be the best piece of advice I could have. Stay positive in speech, stay fact-based, stay as calm as possible. People like to call out, emotional responses. So if you can be clear, calm, and strong, I think you're fine. Like, hello. I feel like each one of these messages is perfectly attuned to the element. So Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, you're very good at communication. Libra, you're going to need to lean into your diplomacy. Gemini, you're going to need to be able to lean into your ability to see it from all perspectives. And Aquarius, you're just like one of the strongest air signs. So I feel like you're going to be bold. And if you say no, you're going to mean no. If you can do that, you've got it. All right. Let's move into water. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Some of you I'm getting a sense of boredom from this card. And we've got it there as the caption. So it's possible to be blessed and bored, busy and bored. It's possible just to be bored. But the fourth cup in this is an ace. And let's pull the traditional one while we're talking. I don't want you to miss a hidden ace. That's what you guys wanted me to look at. So I love that they're all so close as I'm trying to pull them up here. So here's your traditional Four of Cups. The person is, in this one, sort of like persnickety, not really happy, not really engaged, but it's like the universe is saying, over here, don't focus so much on this. Kind of 4 and 5 of Cups, very similar energy. 5 of Cups, it's usually over, bad news, defeat, unexpected twists and turns. Four of Cups is just like, I don't want this, or someone else has something I want. But there's something that's opening up for you. So always keep your eye on the Ace. And today's special topic will help you and everyone else identify it. My message here is there could be a blessing in disguise. Things could be better than you expect. This could also be a conduit to something better. One of my least enjoyable jobs helped me get another job. I only stayed at it for like 8 months or so. And it wasn't until about 3 years later that I interviewed for another job, and they hired me specifically because I worked at this place that I hated. Because they were dealing with someone from that place, and they're like, we really need someone with a background in this. I'm like, who would have known that this would help me get a job I really wanted or needed at the time? And it was like, oh, they all aligned. All these opportunities aligned. And when I was busy and bored, and that was what I was going through, the boredom was worth it because I was actually still environmentally picking up on things that would serve me later. So you never know what's going to serve your highest good. Be as present as possible, make the most of it. And if you don't like it, plan ahead like we were talking about with all my earth signs. Really good technical messages coming through for all of you this week. And thanks for being present and helping me tune into those. All right, we're going to get ready now for the special topic. And let me do a couple things here. For this one, I'm going to move to just a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck because we have such special sort of energy coming through that I want it to be as clear for me as possible. So sometimes I just stick with Rider-Waite-Smith. I'll be using Modern Witch for this. I need to put on the air conditioning because as I move, I start to warm up too. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. And you can enjoy Apollo while I do that. All right, thank you so much for giving me 1 minute there just to make sure that I'm not overheating during this next section. All right, so we're gonna go into the special topic now. And again, this is for everybody that's present. That's the only portion that I do that is specific to the signs. And yeah, thank you so much for letting me walk Apollo. I do 2 walks before the reading so that he has eaten, that he has done everything he needs to do. And I was doing the math. He's about, it's hard to know because he's a rescue. He's either like 7 or 8 now. So he takes a little bit longer on the walks. So thank you for your patience. All right, let's focus on everybody here. The intention here is to look at hidden aces. What are you missing? Another way to look at this is what's available to you. It's a more affirmative way to take a look here. There's that 7 of Swords. All right. I do love a traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck for tricky topics or important ones because it just, like, the messages come straight through. Okay. Let's expand this and then we'll get to business. By the way, thanks to all of you for giving back. It means a lot. It definitely helps the channel grow. We just hit a milestone, and all the contributions you're giving right now, I'm putting into developing a podcast, a 10-episode podcast. It will not launch until the latter part of this year. You can sign up for my newsletter if you want more information on that. I'm taking my time. I'm trying to get some good people for the podcast, but that's where it's going right now. Because I have to hire a production crew, rent a space, get all of this edited. So it'll be something special launching later this year, the biggest thing that I've kind of done on this channel to date. So thanks for your patience. I get questions about it. I'm like, later this year, you'll see it on this channel, you'll see it on my newsletter. So just to make sure you've subscribed to both. Okay, let's get started, folks. We're going to begin with the channeled messages. Not the channel messages, but the catalyst card we just did channeled earlier. So it's a big old ace, folks. It's an Ace of Pentacles, the walnut. Anytime I see an acorn, a walnut, a bulb, a seed, it's the Ace of Pentacles. What I like about a tree, fruit, or seed is basically we see the potential for something really substantial because this is both the Ace of Pentacles and the 10 of Pentacles. The tree of life is what those symbols create. If you ever wondered why the pentacles are in that form, they're traced in the tree of life. So you're starting something now that could be really impactful. this seed has the capability right now to grow into something amazing. 10 of Pentacles can also represent marriage. It's marriage, it's business, it's completion, it's personal growth, it's wealth. It's all the things we kind of want. So this is a powerful week to get this in motion. Today is the most powerful day, but you can get, I would say, everything up into well, even the new moon. It's on the heels of retrograde, but there's an eclipse too. It's so powerful. So we have a solar eclipse, a new moon, and retrograde. So if you can do it Wednesday or Thursday, I feel like you're going to have the biggest punch behind your intentions. But definitely this week, set some intentions into motion. And you're going to see some rapid and probably some unexpected stuff, because with an eclipse, which reveals things that we didn't anticipate, and with the retrograde, which helps us see things that we might have forgotten, you put those two things together and wow, it's going to be sort of crazy, right? All right. So crazy in a good way, like crazy amazing. Let's go into your centermost cards here. So we have the Eight of Cups, a return to form, a return to something that you've forgotten, second chances, and then we have the Seven of Swords on top of it. Let's talk about the Eight of Cups first. So it's in reverse, and it's saying, if you've forgotten about someone or something, it's coming back. This is your chance to rectify, to celebrate, to optimize, to get something done, and let it go. Like truly be finished with it. I had to like drop off a bunch of letters at the post office for taxes. I'd already paid like the big ones, but then I have like quarterly taxes. So I had all of these things that I had to take care of. It just felt good to deliver those and be done with that phase. And sometimes with the Eight of Cups, that's what it is. It's saying, are you finished yet? Now's your time to finish up all of this stuff. Make sure you've done it, and then you can move on. It's an open door. Sometimes it's good to explore options. So, in a job, this would be equivalent to maybe taking a sabbatical. In a relationship, it's pausing before you decide if you want to go to the next level or if there's going to be an imminent separation. It's just that sort of moment of saying, I need some space, I need some time, I need to sort myself out. So do that right now if you need to, obviously. With the card in reverse, decision time is around the corner, but don't rush before you're ready. So really get into that place where you know yourself and you know what you want. And then you're going to see some great things happening. Right after this is Nine of Cups, which is celebration and joy. So it's worth the work and it's worth that exploration. Trust your feelings. Seven of Swords can sometimes be, I talk about like the angel and the devil card. This is this hangs out with the devil. Seven of Swords, Five of Swords, devil, moon, they're all hanging out in the corner, creating chaos in the sort of tarot card imaginary court. The Seven of Swords comes through as an accountability check, and it's saying, you said you were going to do X, Y, or Z. Have you done it? And it's really just you checking in with you, not me checking in with you, not your parent, not your partner. It's just basically you saying, hey, I said I was going to do this. Did I do it? Okay, I better do it. So listen to the angel card over here. I'm trying to think accountability, probably be justice or something, like do the right thing. And then we have this one, but sleeping it would be easier, but no one's going to notice. They always notice. The truth always comes out. Do the right thing. If there's someone in your life that kind of like is temptation or kind of like gets you to do the wrong thing, you want to kind of separate from that. And this is also just saying to let go of an old habit, a bad habit. This is something that no longer serves you, and you know it and you see it and you say goodbye to that. Okay? That's basically those two things. We need to do that because if this holds us back, we're not going to see the opportunities that are knocking. One of the things that also needs to be done is self-care right now. So the Ten of Swords, there's two Ten of Swords in this deck. One says everything is okay. This one is saying you need to heal. I like how this artist has illustrated kind of the social media, the telephone messages. So I think sometimes what happens is we fixate on a single message of rejection, a single message of criticism. Making a mountain out of a molehill. And the main message that I have here is feel what you need to feel, and then also contextualize that and think about the source. Always consider the source. And if you don't really respect the source, the message doesn't matter that much. Or if the source isn't that important, you can kind of like, you can take it all into perspective. Okay. Let's move on to some other things with this. This can also symbolize chronic pain, chronic fatigue, or something that you've been holding on to from the past. Standard disclaimers always apply here. I'm not a substitute for a therapist, but this would be a good point in your life where it might be good to talk to someone who can help you through that, because it can be physical, but it can also be emotional. And either way, this is a time to really make sure you get both areas of support taken care of. We want the foundation to be firm, and this is in the foundational area of the spread, okay? Okay, we now have what's offering itself up in this period of time, and it's the Knight of Pentacles. So things are going to start to come through pretty quickly this week. I mentioned that there could be some unexpected twists and turns. They could be better than you expected, and the Knight of Pentacles is saying just that. I like that this Knight is discerning. She's looking at that and thinking, is it good enough? Is this what I had in mind? Also, if she's thinking to herself, I didn't expect this, but maybe this is what I need. I like the curiosity. I like the discernment. We don't want doubt, but it's always good to question, to research, and to sort of search your feelings, which is what this card is all about. Opportunity, again, could be knocking. There could be someone that reaches out and says, and they say, hey, I've been thinking of you. Would you consider this? Or you've thrown your hat into consideration for a bunch of jobs, and now you might have a couple of interviews and you have to make a decision. So be thoughtful, be open, and things are going to start to move quickly. And this is nicely connected to even the energy of today. So once your decision has been made, the speed starts to pick up a little bit. And I like that. So the biggest slowdown could just be in feelings. But anyway, Knight of Pentacles is universally a pretty good card. It's time to move forward with, particularly when it comes to plans and deadlines and looking at your finances, get all that stuff sorted. I mentioned the thing that we all hate, taxes and stuff like that. Get that stuff off your table so you can have it clear for other things. And by the way, because this card is touching this, there could be someone in your life that keeps looking away from their obligation. Isn't it interesting how these two cards are not looking at each other? She's looking away, the other one's looking towards her, and it's like, should I talk about this? Or are you on board? Are you not on board? Especially when it's been on and off again, on and off again. And so this is a time to, I'm going to say this. If someone can't commit, they're not committing. It's not that they're not ready to commit, that just may not be the right one for whatever it is, a project, a friendship, an opportunity, love. So if someone consistently can't make their mind up, they've kind of made their mind up. And they're clarifying for you that they can't give you what you want. To force them into that would be like the devil energy. So you can just say, well, I need something more right now. And you can choose to come back to that later. But when I'm looking at these three cards, I'm not loving them. 10 of Swords, 7 of Swords, and 8 of Cups. It's a cycle that needs to be broken. Perfectly timed because we have retrograde. Let that person, let that cycle, let that thing go. Whatever this is, a habit, a relationship, a job, whatever. There's something that needs to fall out of the picture so something can ease into the picture, right? Now, what a wonderful card to come through representing you in this moment. Power, empowerment, more energy now to basically nurture whatever it is that you want or need. The Empress is the epitome of power, fertility, abundance, and things starting to move in the right direction. The only thing that's not on this one, I'm thinking of the Queen of Pentacles. Sometimes there's a bunny rabbit. It's Queen of Pentacles. So it's not about speed. The Empress is saying, no, I'll wait for the right opportunity. Isn't it also interesting on this one? This is probably a welcome change for my anyone that's watching me down in Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, other parts of the world, because it's a little bit more autumnal. So I like that. So it's about saying, I'll wait until, it's not about the seasonality of it. I'll wait as long as I need to for the right thing to come along. So I like the patience in this card, not rushing to the finish line. There's definitely something to be said for that. Now you could be bringing in love. Okay, so once you heal, once you release something that's no longer what you need or want, I can't ignore Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, Page of Cups. That's a lot of cups, folks. And then we have this beautiful sun or star card here. So for some of you, either people are starting to see you in a new light, and you just have this sort of trifecta of love around you, or you're pulling in a lot of new relationship energy, partnership energy. For sure, that's coming in this week. Let's tune into you first. Well, these two cards are representing you. This is the kind of person that's attracted to your energy and the kind of opportunities that you're calling in. So right now, there are things that are kind of testing your resolve. You came through as the Knight of Cups in reverse. So these are two pretty evenly matched energies. I like a Knight and a Queen, but with them both reversed, I would say the important thing for you right now, let's go to you and then let's talk about the Queen card. So you're coming through as Knight of Cups. Nobody can fill up your cup but you. So when I had the Ace earlier and I said self-love is key, that's what I mean. There's a difference between narcissism and self-love. Self-love and acceptance is saying, I know who I am, I respect who I am, and I love myself unconditionally. I don't love myself exclusively, that's narcissism. You say I love myself unconditionally because I co-created this existence with God and it's the best that I can do or expect of myself. So I am enough. That's the mantra of the Ace of Cups. I'm enough. Even I'm more than enough. Because if you can think that you're more than enough, then you're the Knight of Cups. And people can see you maybe even as like Six of Wands, success energy marching in. You're the knight in shining armor. But you're not there to save anyone but yourself. So love yourself, save your own sort of self if you want to, but in a different light. It's not like the religious thing. It's like save yourself from all of these sort of things that kind of like distract you. And then then you're going to have the universe coming in and saying, I see you. Yes, now look at how they're looking at each other face to face. They see their worth, they see each other, and it's like energy attracting like. So a Knight and a Queen, they're a divine partnership. A Queen and a King, divine partnership. A Knight and a Page, divine partnership. So I like this. There could be someone that wants to come in, and the only thing that's blocking them right now is self-love and acceptance. So if we have the two reversed, they're not looking at each other anymore. And what you're going to be pulling in is someone who could be a little bit more focused on their needs, their own stuff. They could be trying to teach you things about yourself, reinforcing uncertainty or self-doubt and things of that nature. So one of your opportunities is just to focus on yourself. And when you least expect it, the Queen of Cups will come knocking. Queen of Cups could just be someone saying, you're amazing in your job, in your life, or whatever. It could be someone who's interested in you. It could be an opportunity that makes your heart sing, but it's good. We like the Queen of Cups. I mean, it's a great opportunity. You just have a little bit of internal work to do on being as happy as you can with yourself and what you're doing. All of that will eventually inform the energy of the star. The star in reverse is about making sure that you are not muting your light. It's saying, again, if there's something that you need or want or need to be, this is a time to be bold and just do it. She's finding balance, even if there's imbalance in the energy around her. And that's what I love about the star. Uninhibited, unedited, authentic. And all of these things are going to kind of bring in people that are seeing you and celebrating you for you, okay? At work, you could be put on the hot seat and someone is saying, what do you think? Or I need you to do this. If it's a good opportunity, you're a little nervous, you can say, yeah, I'm ready to do it. Could I count on you for some support if I have questions? I think that's a fair question. You could ask for someone to be, in your support team. Say, yes, could I call a couple of people in for some additional insights? Could I ask for an extra couple of days? Yes, I want to do it, but I think I need this, this, and this. That's yes with some stipulations. Why not? Ask for it. It's never, you're never going to regret asking. You'll only regret not asking for some support. And then if good things come your way, don't push them away. It's hard, right? Sometimes because it's a form of protection. This, what's the best word? I know that it's leaving my mind right now, but sabotage, that's it, self-sabotage. So sometimes we self-sabotage because we think, if I destroy it, no one else can, and then I won't get upset. Don't do that. Let's fall out of that cycle as well. That's not good. I just see positivity, opportunity, good things on the horizon for you, so allow that to come through. All right. Let's take a look at the existing cards here. We have in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities, the Page of Cups in reverse. And the Page of Cups in reverse kind of goes with the person here that's focusing on emotions right now. So like sometimes when our emotions cloud ourselves and you can't hear and see what's going on, messages are coming through. You've got to kind of like take emotions and put them to the side and just really see and hear things without focusing on preconceived notions, anger, disappointment, judgment. And there's a lot of that coming through in the spread right now. So the Page of Cups is also saying, I'm not putting my self-worth in your opinion. And that's a hard thing in the long run for all of us to do, right? It hurts when someone says, I don't like this, or you're not enough, or you're not doing something that I want you to do. But you have to follow your heart. And this card is really about following your heart in your life in general, whether that is how you decide to express yourself in what you wear, what you decide to do for a living, who do you decide to love, where you decide to live. It's all up to you folks at the end of the day. At the end of your life, when you look at in life review, you're really going to be judging and grading yourself. Everybody is free to judge one another, but the only judgment that counts is that judgment. You with source energy looking and thinking, did we get what we thought we would out of this? Are we going to need to do something different next time? So just get it right this time and filter out the nonsense. There's always going to be some nonsense, and it's not worth it. All right, looking at what it's all about, manifestation. Guess what? We got 4 aces. That's the Magician. And this is saying you have the capacity to get it all done. We have the swords, pentacles, cups, wands, they're all here. Discernment is the key to success with the Magician and with like a chef. The chef doesn't throw the kitchen sink in the bowl. It's not like I'm going to put all of this in here. It's about how much spice to put, how long to cook it, how much to sift out. And the Magician is the same way. Discernment, measurement, a little bit of this, maybe just this today. So you can do everything and anything, but what do you really want to do? That's actually what the guides are coming through and saying. And that's the opportunity with this, okay? So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed that portion. We're going to expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. And by the way, as I continue to evolve the channel, I change things, I add things, I subtract things. Just relax and enjoy. I go really deep in the cards. By removing some elements, I've been able to go deeper in other elements. So just trust that this is exactly the way it needs to be fashioned. And if you'd like a little bit more interactivity, I'm probably going to do something on the eclipse. So typically when I do eclipse, like lunar and solar energies, I will bring in the readers and viewers' choices, but having like 2 or 3 polls, it was making this reading 2 hours. That's why it was subtracted. So just FYI, I know what I'm doing here, and I'm just trying to keep the flow. We got more than enough energy coming through. All right, we're going to now expand this to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with the energy of health. Health is a portion where we're going to look at what's best for mind, body, and spirit. As we look at that, it said everything we were just talking about. All that matters at the end of the day is, are you accomplishing what you set out to do? Isn't it cool how this star and this star are very similar in shape and in form? So we get distracted sometimes. Mom and dad wanted me to do this. My partner expects this of me. I thought that I said this when I was a kid, therefore I have to do this as an adult. No, you have an even bigger planetary mission, and you can at any point realign to that mission, right? So this is an opportunity for you to regain focus. So what am I saying by this? So I think sometimes we're too focused on the little stuff. Let me frame it this way. And it may be like, for some of you, like that's way off in the distance, but let's imagine this was your very last day on the planet for any number of reasons, and you were graduating into spirit. Do you have regrets? Do you have bucket list items that haven't been accomplished yet? Use those to inform your goals. Those are very closely aligned to also your planetary lessons. You probably came to this planet to learn or feel or experience certain things, and if they're constantly on your wish list, that's not great. I was rewatching an old movie while you were sleeping, and she had an empty passport. And it's sort of like she really wanted to put some stamps in there. If that's part of it, like start to travel. Before my mom passed, she upgraded her passport and she had an intention of traveling. And one of the tough things as I was dealing with wrapping up all her old stuff was looking at her empty passport. And I thought, yeah, that didn't happen for her. So it's a reminder, we need to get those bucket list items done. You never know how many days you have on the planet. So who cares if you have a 4.0 GPA? I certainly don't. Who cares what your best friend, your neighbors think of you, or, if you're wearing something fashionable? I certainly don't. How are you accomplishing your life checklist? That's what I care about. That's your grade. How would you grade yourself when you check out? Because you are the librarian, you are the accountant, you are the grade keeper, you are all of that stuff. You're going to be looking at that and giving yourself a score. So pretend this is it. Pretend this was your last day. This was your last moment. Did you accomplish your mission? If you didn't, now is the time. This retrograde, this eclipse, this new moon, this is the time to set it into motion. Okay? Because you don't want to leave with a to-do list. You want everything checked off that list. Let's take a quick look here at your health. So as I'm looking at deep past, some of you, it is just healing. This period is about healing. It can be emotional, it can be physical. Prioritize that. Each of you have a different journey with that, but suffice it to say, healing is the most important piece. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Do it for your health. Do it for your betterment. Do it for your happiness. Hold yourself accountable and hold others to account. A lot of emotions are coming through. Honor them, nurture them, talk about them. This is going to help with the healing. Opportunities knocking, but the emotional side needs to be steady and stable so that you can activate these two cards, recent, past, and outcome. And then eventually this just becomes joy and celebration. But we need to get these pieces connected first. Someone may really be attracted to the fact that you're on your mission. So when you work your mission, you become this beacon of light. You are the star. So it's interesting that I was watching like a rewrite of a movie. You're the star. So what do you want? What do you want in this rewrite? It's your chance to do that. Okay? Overall, I like what I see. It's basically self-care and emotional well-being are the main focal points. Some of you might be deciding to take better care of yourself. You also might be a new mother, or you might be needing to take care of someone else. And in that case, it's really important to have good self-care because those who nurture need to nurture themselves as well. All right, let's move on to the next portion, which is going to be wealth. And wealth comprises resources, life purpose, and career. The wealth card that came through was to seek the truth. You remember I said earlier, I picked up that the Seven of Swords would be a pivotal piece here. Ask questions. This is pulling back the curtain. It's like the Wizard of Oz, which I haven't watched in a long, long time, but the wizard behind the curtain. At the end of the day, you're going to figure out you don't need the wizard. You are the wizard. But basically, this is saying, I hear a lot of noise. I see a lot of flashes and everything, but like, what's all this about? So if it's a place where you're not behind the message or the messenger, then maybe you need to be the messenger, or you need to kind of go in a different path. So seek the truth. If you're in an environment at work where the truth is not welcomed, where voices of dissension are not allowed, where questions are diffused, then that may not be the best place, right? That's part of this message. I think this is, what we're all here for, isn't it? It's to understand, to question. That's one of the reasons I had to go more on the metaphysical path than like a traditional religious path, because they don't like questions. They're like, it's just read it, it's there. But that was written like 2,000 years ago. How about now? How is this all applying now? You're not allowed to ask questions. So I believe like science and math and everything, spirituality works that way too. We should always be able to ask questions. So when you're looking at what you're doing for a living, for the sort of your planetary goals, if you can't ask questions, you're in the wrong place. We should always be learning and expanding, and no leader should be afraid of those questions being asked, okay? You have a chance to go bigger, further, farther, faster if you want to. We have the expansion energy here with the star. It's in the environment. We have opportunity knocking here. The only thing holding you back from opportunity and power is emotions, and maybe someone in your life that doesn't want you to get there. And they could use words, actions, or contracts to try to hold you back, but it's not going to work. Because I really do feel like you're in a growth spurt right now. So it is about releasing the old, taking care of yourself, and stepping into this higher visibility that wants to happen right now, okay? And this is the important message. Ask the questions. Why? Like, ask yourself the questions. Why am I doing this? Am I happy? Is this enough? And if it isn't enough, what would make it enough? You can answer your own questions when it comes to what you should be doing for life purpose. When I look at career, that includes those of you that are students and those of you that are retired, because it's just life purpose. When I look at wealth, it was just easier to call health, wealth, love, and destiny, but it really is like life purpose. It's wordy and it doesn't flow. So if you're looking at your state in life right now and you think, I want to do a little more of this, do it and ask yourself how you can do it. All right, let's move on to love. The first card covers the whole spectrum here: romantic, platonic, friends, and family. So we have, guess what? More magic. So we have the magic guardian here. It says unlock the magic within. And you are lucky, by the way. Some of you may think you're unlucky, but unlock that sort of energy and think, I can create my own luck. So again, I'll even take a word like that comes out and I'm like, who's stuck up on luck? You're all lucky. So believe in your luck, believe in your ability to manifest and create something exciting in your life, okay? There may have been a gatekeeper before that you felt you had to go through, a teacher, a mentor, someone who basically was the one holding the key. And this one is saying it's all within, folks. It's always been within. And that's a really powerful message to come through when it comes to relationships. So let's take a look a little deeper here as I take a drink. We're going to look at those of you that are in love, looking for love, or single and happy. And we'll see what's going on here. All right, so when I look at in love, it can basically also be the person that you love the most. So just unconditional love, that current relationship, that's what we're going to start with. Interesting energy. So there's a couple things here. First of all, you can take it in any direction that you'd like. We're going to focus first on the outcome cards and the environment. It looks like one or both of you are in a period of expansion. There could be a new job, could be a new baby. There could just be a new sort of sense of self and opportunity. Big opportunities, big life movements that want to happen. It also seems like you're evenly partnered up. Like there could also be a child here, because this can be the two of you and this can be a child. But what I see here is a nice core unit, and anything is possible, providing that there is honesty, that there's honesty and there's accountability, providing that communication stays elevated. What I see in deep past for some of you, and occasionally popping up, is arguments around accountability, because the Ten of Swords can be cruel words that are said. It doesn't have to be all the time, but it can be an argument and something that was said that just sort of stuck there. And this can also be sort of someone that just, you feel like they're not doing what you need them to do. So being there in the way that you need each other to be there for one another is going to be key. And how do you do that? Through open communication. I see a lot of emotions. I see opportunity, but guess what? There's no swords. There's not the swords that I want. I should put it that way. There are swords, but I want to see an ace of swords, a king of swords, a page of swords. I don't want to see the 10 and the 7. They're not communicating right or well. So better communication, folks. Once the communication is solved, everything else looks pretty good. So I think and again, this may be a perfect candidate for couples therapy or something of that nature. The star can also be that mediator coming in between and helping you out to see the light. But I think you can work through this if you want to. For the rest of you, by the way, this can just be environmental stress, physical stress, and big life shifts. The good news is I see you all partnered up as you're going through this. So just be there for one another. Even the outline of the walnut is saying, hey, we built this on love. It's still there. It's at the core of things. We see the little heart in the walnut, right? And there's two parts to this. So just be there for one another. For those of you looking for love right now, it's really important to get out of the old cycles first, because otherwise you're just going to fall into a cyclical repetition that you don't want. So the retrograde is saying first, for the week ahead, let go of the old, plant the seed or the intention for something new. You actually have an abundance of opportunities and different types of people that are entering into your life. Be yourself. Be authentic. That's the key to pulling the highest partnership of all of this. And also, don't underestimate both those in love, looking for love, and single, and well, all three, really. There's a lot of things that you can put your time and energy into right now, so balancing it is going to be important. But yes, you can meet people, lots of water energy coming through. So that may be what it is. But we also have this, which I would associate with Aquarius, who's also, even though it's air, it's a water bearer. So there could be an Aquarian energy coming through as well. Okay, so let's go ahead now and focus on those that are single and happy. Good time to be single and happy, to be honest, because self-healing is one of the primary things that needs to happen this week. I see a lot of development and wealth and visibility coming through. So take care of yourself, step into that spotlight, have some fun, go to a party for sure. Single and looking, single and happy, get out there. This is you in the Three of Cups, if I've ever seen it, because we have 3 cups and you shining pretty brightly, and then you also kind of like attracting new opportunities. So highly productive and magnetic period that you're in right now. Quite fun to look at as a reader as well. All right, let's move on to Destiny. What's it all about? So we have the Letter. This is a really powerful card. And someone was asking about this particular deck. It's the Afro Goddess Oracle deck. It's out of print. So I know there's been a lot of questions. She's moving to a new distributor. So anyway, that's the answer to this question. Moving back into this, the Letter is about saying, all right, what is my soul contracts? For some of you that can tap into Akashic Records, this is helpful. But for the rest of us, it's saying we're constantly creating, co-creating, recreating contracts with ourselves and with others. One of the cool things that retrograde lets us do is to subtract or to release or to eliminate unnecessary contracts and say, thank you for this. I've now graduated from this. I release this contract. I release your energy. I'm going to focus on something bigger, better, brighter in the future. You could also be getting something really cool, some good news. You may even be getting something that you don't want to read. Whatever it is, the Letter is coming through to help you focus on something else, to help you see what else is out there. It's also saying you're as good as your word. These two work hand in hand, okay? So if you say you're going to do it, do it. If someone else says they're going to do it and they don't do it, then they're this. And it's time to move in a different direction. So be accountable, hold others to account. Know that the act of writing is a form of manifestation and it can open up new opportunities. So see it, speak it, write it, do it. All of these can help bring it into your world. And those are the main energies that want to come through. I like to pull an extra card when I'm doing these readings. It's kind of the big idea. For this one, I want to really ask a bit of a question. So it's a combination of this and Reader's Choice, but it's the question, what are you missing? So what is the big opportunity? What's the big idea? What are you missing? What's the ace? Because we've done all the work to help you find the ace. So let's really make sure you know what your ace is this week. All right, it's the 8 of Pentacles, which is learning something new or putting something to practice that you've learned. So for those of you that have studied something but never really had a chance to put it into action, this is your chance to do it. For those of you that have always wanted to try something different, also a time to do it. For those of you that want to explore the opportunities, this is saying scribble it down, chart it out. If you are a writer, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to create some plot points. If you write for TV, you're going to figure out episodic arcs. If you're figuring out the next 5 to 10 years of your life, you're going to think, all right, it's going to take this much money and this much time, this many reasons. All right, I'm going to do this. And you're going to just kind of plot it out. This is making an outline. So if you can make an outline and a plan, you have a really good chance of achieving a lot of those points. At least 80% of it, if we look at the 8 of Pentacles. So this is a chance for you to really make some progress, have some fun, and dream a little bit. The 8 of Pentacles is exploration, it's dreaming, it's having fun, it's playing in the sandbox, okay? If you want to do something like training, education, again, knowledge expansion, all of those things are a part of this as well. Let me just see if there's anything intuitively that I pick up on. Okay. The other thing here is to be comfortable with expressing and sharing things that you've learned, because I'm looking at how she's just chilling out at home and she's just having fun with her gift. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was hoping that those 2 extra pentacles would be the 10th, but they were just the 7th and 8th. Okay, so what I would say with this is sometimes we feel like I'm not an expert. I want you to avoid self-deprecating, self-limiting, or any sort of words that go out there where you're kind of saying like, I may not know much about this, but. So let's ignore that now. And now let's just start to express thoughts and interests and ideas. Say, I have an idea. I have a question. I read up on this. This is what I learned. What do you think? So much stronger than, this may sound outlandish, but, or I don't know a lot about this, but, or I know you didn't ask. Stop it. Instead, just state your powerful and worthy thought. Let others judge it or not judge it. You've done your homework. If you've done your homework, then what you're sharing is worthwhile. So simply say, I have an idea. I have some feedback. I have a question. Let others decide if it's good or bad. And in your heart, believe that it's good if you're offering it, because then, you're infusing it with positive energy. You're putting an ace behind it. So that's the big idea, and that's how you're going to be powerful, is to believe in yourself, to state an intention, and then a quick summary of everything, and then we'll get into the final portion of this reading. We're going to pull all of this together for you. So this is a perfect time for you to plant a new seed. The important thing is to release an old cycle and to sort of really sort out your emotional state. I do see spotlights wanting to shine right now, but the important thing is comfort and confidence. And I think that's something that takes time to work on, right? I think it's really important to be able to verbalize and ask questions, whether written or spoken. And if you are in a place where you can't do it, you need to go to a different place, or you need to find a different person to talk to. Really getting back into your planetary mission is something that sticks with me right now too. So these are my 3 favorite cards, perhaps. Planting a seed, connecting to the mission, continuing to put your magic into it, and realizing that nobody else has to be the key or the conduit for that. It's you. It's always been you. Always will be you. And then keeping yourself and others accountable. That's what's important. Get it in writing, folks. Anything that happens during this period, for sure. Get it in writing. Get a carbon copy of that. All right? So those are your messages right now. And the hidden ace is you have more skills and more knowledge than you might realize. Share it. And you have a chance to learn at any age, at any stage of your development. You can always learn more. That's what makes it so fun. That's why we continue to sort of hang out on this planet as long as we do. Okay? All right. We have one more portion of this reading that's coming through, and that's going to be the final card. So if you have a question for the person that says they missed the viewer's choice, just ask it then. That's why I saw some redundancies before, and I saw that even this was kind of a redundancy of the reader's choice. So hold your question for then, meditate on it, and then you can ask it silently, and I'll pull a card and we'll see what's coming through. All right. Let's look at the cards really quick before we get into the meditation. And I think what the big opportunity here for you is to become the magician. We're going to meditate as if we were at the magician's altar, and you have all of the things in front of you. I think that's going to be what's most important and most powerful. So if you wouldn't mind, please close your eyes right now. Take a nice deep breath, letting go of any fears, any anxieties, any preconceived notions, because we talked about how those filters, they're kind of tantamount to clouds or fog, and we don't need that anymore, right? So just let that go. With each breath that you take, imagine that you are facing the rising sun and that you can see these little puffs of smoke coming out until it's just clear, and you're clear, and you're just looking at a ray of light shining on the altar in front of you, where you have one of every element, fire, earth, air, water, pentacles, swords, cups, wands. And as you look at this, I want you to think to yourself, ask a question, because that was part of it today, and it's, where does my heart or my soul yearn? What is it that creates curiosity, desire, or intrigue? Just think about what gets you excited about waking up tomorrow or today. And then let's imagine that you're going to take the corresponding ace, whichever one you're drawn to. So the chalice, the wand, like magic, the sword for action, or the pentacle for resources. Whatever you're lacking, whatever you want more of, take that one energy and place it in front of your heart so that you can embody that. And see your own magic. You're the magician, you're a sorcerer. You're able to kind of create this energy around you. So see it imprinted in your field of energy. So you embody that which you seek. which is really how you manifest. So you already are deserving of or embodying that. Breathe and see that symbol in your energy and just keep it there as a big, bright beacon. As you take your next breath, imagine now that you can just let your heart sort of not let it go, but just let it be. Let the symbol exist there with each heartbeat that you take. Imagine that there's a light pulsing through that symbol, broadcasting it to the universe, saying, I am worthy of all of this and then some. Take a deep breath, and on the next natural exhale, if you wouldn't mind, please open your eyes. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to look at your final question. So think of something that you need clarity on. You don't have to vote on it. You don't have to type it. Just say it in your head. And I'm going to, okay, we got a volunteer, but I'm still going to pull the cards. So we have one volunteer, which is the Five of Wands, but let's see what the answer is to your question. So that was the Cosmos's choice. We were talking about readers and viewers. This is Cosmos's choice. Now let's take a look and see what's coming through for you. Okay, these are powerful messages. So we'll start off with yours, which is the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles in reverse. You can't do everything for everyone. It's important, essential, valuable, powerful to be picky and discerning and say no. I can give a little bit of this to you, a little bit of this to you, and I need to reserve some for myself so that I'm not running on empty. Fair enough. It may not make everybody happy. I make choices. Not everyone's happy with the choices, but you have to make the choices that serve the greater good and also your own sort of energy constraints the most. And that's part of it. Take the heat, do what you need to do, and it will be okay. And by saying no occasionally, not all the time, but by saying no occasionally, people will learn to respect your time and energy a little bit more. And it's ironically, you say no, but you're going to get more. People want more of it when you can't give it. So they'll value it a little more when it's not so accessible. So what you could say is, not tonight, but tomorrow, not for an hour, but for half an hour. You can negotiate. You have a lot of negotiation room right now. Don't underestimate the ability to ask for more or try to give a little bit less so that you have more at the end of the day. This, by the way, is the necessary card for having more than enough. By definition, Six of Pentacles is more than enough. But you can always get a little bit more. It's about continuing to find balance. The scales are typically in this one. So Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, and Justice, all balance cards, all about finding your balance. So you're halfway there with this one. Keep it up, keep up the good work, say no a little bit more, and you can say no in an informed way. So it's not just a hard and fast no, it's saying not yet, or not this, or this, and then that. Basically clarify the rules of engagement, right? And that could be part of this, saying, we need to look at this contract a little bit closer. I agree with this, but not this. You can absolutely put that energy into the letter. Okay? Now, as I was getting ready to shuffle, this flew out of the deck. Someone was talking about Eight of Pentacles being day in, day out work. Yes, but not really. To a degree, Eight of Pentacles is detail-oriented work. I typically always see this as a very fruitful card. If you put your energy behind something, you start to see some progress. This feels a little bit more like the monotony of day in and day out, and it feels a little exhausting, and a lot of times there's competition with it. So it's saying try not to get this feeling of being bored, try not to compete so much with others. If you're in a place where there is no sort of overarching purpose, again, it might be time to look for something else. The Five of Wands is saying don't get lost in the shuffle, don't sweat all of this sort of nonsense around you when it comes to, you know, this is sort of like work culture, family culture, culture. It's stuff that you can't control that's already sort of built in. And you're either gonna fit in or not with some of this stuff. And that's why the star is coming through and it's saying, fly that flag of uniqueness, be yourself, shine like a spotlight. That's what you really need to do, okay? Beautiful messages this particular reading. Powerful week ahead. I'm not so nervous about it because all the cards are showing really great stuff. I think because on the heels of a retrograde, we have both a new moon and an eclipse. It's changing the frequency of the retrograde. It's allowing it to be an empowered event. And I do believe retrogrades, by the way, hot take on this, but I don't think they're always bad, folks. I think they can be really good. They can be very beneficial. You can move through some old stuff. It's kind of like catch-up time. So view it as that. Manifest this to be a very productive retrograde period. It's only like 3 or 4 weeks. You're going to be done before you know it. I'll be here to guide you each and every week. We're going to do a special. There's no way that I wouldn't do a special forecast this week because it's 3 things in one. So it might even be closer to half an hour, but I'll do a special live impromptu and I'll put it on the channel this week so you can plan for it ahead of time. All right, folks, that is everything for today. Thank you so much. A couple of quick bookkeeping pieces here and then we'll wrap up. If you haven't already given me a follow on social media, please do that. I try to update you for any upcoming news or information. By the way, it's always going to be my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all platforms. If anyone misspells it or claims it's a second account, they're Pinocchio. I'm also verified on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and also Twitter. So there's no blue verification mark. It's not me either. You can always go to my website or the About page here on YouTube for information. I don't offer private readings. I don't use direct messages. I'm not going to offer you something in comments, especially with all these weird emojis and stuff. Just use common sense. I try to get rid of them as soon as they pop up, but you know, there's a lot of them. Okay, if you want to give back, you can clearly do it here in a live through super stickers, super chat, and membership. All of that stuff goes in video production. That's why I'm able to do so many videos. It's because of your support. That's why I can launch a podcast, because of your support. So thank you. Again, that's coming later this year. You can always subscribe to my newsletter, which is on my website if you want more information. I want to take a couple moments to say thanks. We had a really nice audience today. I appreciate all of the folks that showed up today to work on themselves and ask questions. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I want to take a couple moments here just to say thanks to the newest members and anybody that gave a sticker, and then we'll wrap up for today. While I'm doing that, thank you, Dakota, for your assistance with moderation. I'm live, by the way, every Sunday for this weekly collective, and then I do monthly readings on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I'll post tomorrow's reminder video up there so you can set your set the time. It's usually 11:30 Monday, Thursday, Friday, and 9:30 on the weekends. Okay, so to the newest members, I want to say thank you so much. Looks like some of these folks rejoined and joined. I'm just going to say all the names together. Water Girl, Jolie, Jeff, Andrea, and that's everybody from this morning. So thanks, guys. I appreciate your support. I think somebody even upgraded too. So thank you so much for upgrading. I appreciate that. Okay, for those who gave back with super stickers and super chat, let me just give a quick shout out and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay, so kicking things off today, thank you so much, Yoga Rising. I'm going to say everybody's first name and try to do the best that I can. So give me just a moment here. Lydia, Lori, Lucy, Zeneb, Pearl, Mauricia, Renita, Lucy, Cheryl, Kathy, Laura, Sammy, Diana, Jeannie, Carol, Maria, and Carmen. You guys rock. Thank you so much for your generosity. That's more than I expected. And again, it's going a long way because I have a bigger team now as I start to assemble the future podcasts. I have to pay for producers and editors and people to help with sound and lighting and all of that. So this is helping me with that. And I just want to say thanks in advance. I know you won't see that until later this year, but it definitely helps. So big love to all of you for showing up today. really focus on this energy of the Magician. Remember, there's a lot of aces around you and you have a lot of power and potential. So focus on that. Believe in yourself. And I feel like this is going to be a great week ahead. Hope to see you all next weekend. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. Have a good one. And let's see, Apollo's in the other room, or I would bring him up here. But lots of love from Mr. Apollo and I. Hey, buddy, you want to come in here? Let's see if I can bring him in. He's like, no, Dad, I'm gonna wait for another walk. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.